Hello, this is Mr. Dombrowski. Welcome to week 2 of your lesson activities. So, week 2 is very similar to week 1. Uh, this week, you'll be dividing decimals, dividing whole numbers to start with, and then transitioning into dividing decimals using partial quotients. Again, a lot of this should be a review from previous years, but once we get into the decimal uh, portion of this, you'll be kind of adding on to that knowledge that you have, activating that prior knowledge, and then um, learning how to apply that to dividing decimals. So each day you're going to complete lessons using NearPod. On day 10, you'll complete some review activities before completing your assessment to evaluate your understanding of the week's content, just like we did in week 1. So what are partial quotients? Well, there's a song here that'll give you a little overview of that, so give that a listen. Then you're going to, again, proceed through the NearPod lessons. So again, once you click through these, as you're familiar with from week 1, you'll type your name in, use your full name. I'm just going to write Mr. Dombrowski just as an example. And then again, you'll move through these NearPod lessons. You'll start out with whole numbers before transitioning into um, your lessons. So let's see. There's some review, again, activities that you'll be completing, some matching terms with definitions. So there are going to be a lot of different activities, some matching activities, and then some where you'll be required to just kind of look at the overview of how to do this and use these as examples. And there'll be some sample problems, and I'll show you some examples like this here using partial quotients. And then you'll kind of review and warm up. Using partial quotients, I'll just give you a quick example of that. So if I want to figure out how many times 5 goes into 95 using partial quotients, what I'm going to do is, if I don't know for sure, I'm going to start with some numbers that I do know. So rather than 5, let's say I know what 10 times 5 is. So I can go ahead and do 10 times 5, which leaves me with 45, right? So I see that I have 45 left. I know what my times tables are for 5, so I know that 5 goes into 45 9 times. And that leaves me with 0 left over. There's a remainder of 0 there after I subtract that. 10 plus 9 is 19. So I know that 95 divided by 5 is 19. 5 times 19 would be 95. So that answer goes here. So as you work your way through these problems, again, here's some samples. You can go by 20s, you can go by 2s, you can go by 5s, whatever numbers work out well for you, that you can work your way down to 0. Sometimes you might have a remainder, sometimes you won't. So again, partial quotients, division, you're just kind of working your way down with whatever tools, whatever multiplication numbers work well for you. Try to start big enough to get that number down small so you don't have to go too long with it. Take a look at some of the videos that give you examples of how to do this, and then follow the examples and work your way through this. Again, a lot of this should be a review, so think about the facts, use the instructions, and if you have questions, refer to the instructional videos and the examples in each week's slide. So again, it's going to ask me to provide answers before I work my way through these. But yeah, there's going to be examples, there'll be some different activities, and usually a time to climb kind of fun activity at the end. On day 5, day 5 of week 2, day 10 total. As you can see, it's day 6, 7, 8, 9. You have NearPods. Day 10, you'll have an optional NearPod review activity. This won't require you to write so much as it will to just kind of complete some more fun kind of matching activities. There's a Blue Kit review game. You can click that, and that'll review how to divide decimals. And then you'll have your assessment link, which is a Google form that you'll click here and complete. After this, you've completed week 2, and you'll proceed to week 3, where you have your project.